Hello guys, and welcome back to another Power Rankings. So today we are going to be looking at the top 5 side characters in anime. So we are going to kick things off right now with number 5, Seto Kaiba. Now the reason why Seto Kaiba made the list from Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, is because as a side character he is a pretty big side character. He starts off in the anime, and as the guy that steals Yugi's Exodia cards. He kidnaps his granddad. I mean, he is a pretty evil, bad dude at that point. But then it turns out, as he comes along and the character develops more, he becomes more of a rival for Yugi, the guy that Yugi kind of sees as a friend, somebody who he trusts, somebody who he has by his side. And come the end of that, the original Yu-Gi-Oh, they seem to be working side by side quite well. I mean, they get to a point where he starts Duelist Kingdom, where he holds his own tournament. The point of his own tournament is to get all the God cards. So again, he's got his own selfish desires in there. And then when Yugi gets one of the God cards, again they become rivals. They end up battling the whole way through. And then come the end of that tournament, the tournament doesn't actually finish, I'd say, because they end up having to work together, due to the fact that they end up in this virtual dimension. And with them being in there, they work together, they get along the whole time. I mean, I won't say they get along as much, but they do pretty well when it comes to working together. So as a side character, I'd say he is more of that side character, that rival, than him being an actual bad guy in it. I mean, most of the way through, if not all of the way through, there is somebody else that stands out as the bad guy over Kaiba. I mean, the first couple of episodes you think Kaiba is that main bad guy, and then it doesn't take long to find out that Pegasus is the main bad guy. Then after that, it's the second storyline with the gods. Marik is the bad guy, and then after that you got his father and the whole I want to call him his side. I don't know what you call him exactly. It's his henchmen, let's call him. For instance, all of that is going on. So there's always a different bad guy, someone who's worse off than Kaiba in the storyline. So he is definitely classed as one of the top side characters in that. But moving on to number 4, Johann Liebert from Monster. Now, I put him in there because when it comes to Monster, there's not many other characters in Monster. None that you could say is a side character. Johann Liebert is the guy that is definitely in this the villain, the bad guy. But that being said, he is the character that is consistent all the way through. When you think bad guy, in anime, most of the time as well, you think Johann Liebert. I mean, he didn't do much particularly, but the stuff they did was despicable, and he really, as a character, really stood out, and it gave the Doctor something to really push himself for. I mean, if it wasn't for Johann, he'd never be in the predicament he was, and he'd have never pushed himself on, I'd suppose, that revenge trip. He'd have never pushed himself as hard as he did if Johann had just disappeared and gone away. So, again, he is another fantastically strong side character. Now, at number 3, you have Gray from Fairy Tail. Now, the reason Gray is in the list is because he starts out as just another side character. Your main character at the start pretty much was Lucy and well, the three technically, because I'll include Happy as well. So you got Lucy, Happy, and Natsu. Now, between those three, they started out as being the three main characters. Then they brought Urza and Grey in as well to make a proper team out of it. And it wasn't long before Grey started getting his own storylines, his own backstories brought in. And by the end of the anime, as in up to where we are currently, by the end of all that, he actually possibly had the strongest, greatest and most developed backstory out of all of them, and he's probably the most developed character out of anyone in Fairy Tail. I mean, Natsu is probably the face of it, and even if you said that he wasn't, you'd say Lucy was, but none of them have the story that Grey has. He has the amazing backstory with his family, his father comes into it, then you've got the person that brought him up and trained him the whole way through, and there's just so many. Then you got the person that, the other guy that trained with him, Leo, and he becomes his own character in it. He starts out as a bad guy, then he joins one of the guilds. It's just so much going on around Grey that you cannot have a list of top sidekicks without him being in it. You just can't. Now, number 2, side characters. I'm going with L, because in Death Note you've got to say that the main character in it is Light, but as a side character you could say Ryuk would be one of the top side characters, but I've got to go with L. The reason why I go with L is the battles between L and Light the whole way through that first section was absolutely amazing. Every single person that watches Death Note will say after they killed L, Death Note wasn't as good. I mean, it's still good with Light carrying the show, but without L, that constant person that's hunting him down, that genius, it's not the same. And he is possibly the greatest character in anime. Is L. I mean, just his deductive capabilities and all that. As a detective, he is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest detective ever. So, he definitely deserves to be up there. I mean, I would put him at number 1, but I will never, and I don't think anyone will ever find a greater side character than that I have at number 1. But, before we get there, honourable mentions. I'm going to throw in these very quickly. I'm going to go with Misty from Pokemon. Again, the original series kind of needed her to drive the series, so if it wasn't for Misty driving the series, Ash would have had no one there. Same for Gary. If Gary wasn't in there, then again there'd have been nobody driving that series. He needed a rival, he needed someone to push himself against. And Gary was always originally that competitor, that person that he was pushing himself for. So I suppose for Pokemon it's a joint one between Misty and Gary, because both of them drive the series. Then you got Attack on Titan, Mikasa. Now the reason why Mikasa isn't in the actual top 5 is because I wouldn't say that she's quite as powerful of a side character as some of the others. But as a side character, she is absolutely badass. I mean, everybody else is struggling with the training, struggling to do their own thing, struggling to get on with everything. And she just comes on, whips out a sword, and is absolutely badass. She kills absolutely everything and everyone. She is absolutely unstoppable. Why she is teamed up with all these weaklings, I have no idea. But, hey, maybe she'll come into her own in this new series that will be coming out soon. Now, one last one, and this is mainly because I wanted to up the amount of honourable mentions I had. You've got Matt from Digimon, and the only reason I'm throwing him in there is because from the original series, Tai was constantly competing with Matt, and then when it got round to Season 2, when Davis and all that came in, he even made a reappearance there, and kept pushing his little brother as well to be better there. So, Matt did drive quite a few of the characters there. You know, when it come to Tai as well, they did all that evolution stuff where their Pokemon evolved into the metal forms at the same time and all this sort of stuff that was going on. And then I think there was the merger of the two Pokemon as well. So there was a lot of stuff going on between the main characters there to compete with them. But at number 1, it has to go to none other than Vegeta. Now the reason why I say Vegeta is because as a side character, not only was he so good as a side character, but he has even become possibly the main character. I mean, everyone will always say that Goku is the main character, but with Vegeta in it, he has gone from being that guy that was the bad guy. He wanted to go kill Goku at the start and failed miserably, and then as the character developed throughout time, he became someone who aligned himself with him and then trained with Goku, trained with all the others, because his ultimate goal in life was to always be better than Goku and to be the strongest of Saiyans. Now with Dragon Ball Super that's just come out, I think that is definitely achieved, because Goku achieves God form kind of by cheating, whereas Vegeta, on the other hand, achieves it. One, I think Super Saiyan Blue he gets before Goku, but I could be wrong. But he definitely achieves it on his own, without stealing other people's powers, without any form of cheating going on. And there's the rivalry between them all. It's such a strong rivalry that they push each other to be better. And yeah, it's just, he's always there by his side. He's always there by Goku's side. And when push comes to shove, Vegeta's always the guy. Granted, he's a bit hot-headed, and that can cost him at times. But failing that, he is always the guy that goes into all these big battles with Goku. And when Goku can't do something, Vegeta's generally the one that does it. So he definitely in his own rights is the best sidekick that there is and deserves to be the main character. But that's just my thoughts. Do you think Vegeta's better than Goku, guys? You guys tell me. And do you agree with my list? Again, drop us a comment, let me know. We will see you guys later. I'll see you next week for the Power Rankings, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Sunday review. Don't miss it. I'll see you later. Bye.